social media managers.
Whoa. Wow.
The NMRA needs a social media manager.
It's a good thing this is coming out after Springfield.
Oops.
They're desperate.
I didn't want to be too specific about it, but
they're desperate for a social media.
Oh, they
manager.
are. Jesus.
I still contend it's the leadership's fault for not giving her good content and good vision to post. It's not her fault.
I would
They're
say
not giving her anything.
I would correct you there and say it's the leadership's fault for hiring her.
Well,
Yes.
that's true, but I mean, she seems more focused on creating a personal brand than creating a.
And yes, occasionally we say some things that are a little edgy, but that's just us. We're the late night version of a model railroading podcast. We enjoy ourselves, and we're not going to apologize for the way we are, because we're real, right, Derek?
Yeah, I think we all are our authentic selves, and so whether we had this conversation tonight or again in 2 weeks or again in 2 years, we probably say the same things. And that's what makes podcast work. We have real conversations. We're not reading from a script. We're not afraid to say things. We just talk.
Exactly.
it's great to learn about other people.
That's
Right.
That's a great thing about having Rapido Trains
Your fast track to model railroading fun.
as our sponsor, because not one single solitary time in the 2 or 3 years that we've had them as our sponsor has Jason Schron, the owner of Rapido Trains, ever commented on what he would prefer to have in the show content or the content we produce. He's just glad to be a part of the show, and we're glad to have him as part of the show.
Absolutely, we are.
Works
Yep,
out
he should.
perfect.
You should be. Good fit.
It is a good fit. It is a great fit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, RayronVR. And boy, do I have a video for you guys today. So I am recording this on 4th of February 2025. Originally, I was thinking about making an Icey news video kind of capturing all this, but the more I dug into this, the more posts I kept finding, the more I kept getting contacted about what happened with this particular event. I realized that the nature of this particular news is going to be slightly different. So this is kind of my first stab at doing a video essay. And man, I tell you what, I haven't seen a piece of news article like this kind of spread like wildfire. The fact that all these manufacturers made a statement, it is definitely something I have never seen before in this hobby. And so when it comes to this video, I'm going to try to provide the statements for you guys, try to give you as much context as I can. And then I'm going to basically talk about why this has such a dramatic impact on both the podcasting world and the kind of sponsorship world. So this video is going to be basically a open letter to those who are making content here on YouTube, those who are doing podcasting, not only in video format, but also like on Spotify, Facebook, and so forth. And also kind of a letter to the manufacturers out there that now may be hesitant to sponsor a particular channel here on the YouTube or on social media in general. So I kind of just want to dive into it, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so basically on February 3rd, 2025, a particular podcast had a group of individuals that, they were kind of speaking their mind, using their free speech privilege to kind of express some of their statements. Now, you guys can see up on the screen that here's all the particular statements that were said, and I will definitely look into these statements and how kind of wrong these statements are. But as you guys saw from the backlash, it was definitely negative received. It cost the sponsorship from this particular podcast from Rapido. And that's where it's like it really has the big impact going into the future of sponsorships. So that's where I'm kind of going to go ahead and talk about when it comes to the relationship between podcasting and sponsorships. Now, it's always a dream for a podcast. Even for me, it's a dream to have a manufacturer sponsor a channel or get a sponsor from a hobby shop. But with that comes a very delicate balance. Yes, you can say pretty much anything that you want on YouTube so long as it doesn't violate the terms of service of YouTube. You have that right to free speech. However, it does come at a cost if you take a sponsorship. So that cost is very subjective to the particular hobby shop or company that you agree to do that sponsorship. That sponsorship is a contract. And as a podcaster, you have to understand that when you're producing content or, advocating and using your free speech, you always got to keep in mind that you got to keep the sponsorship that you've taken and their company into consideration. You got to take into consideration, what does that company stand for? What is their mission statement? What is the things that they value the most? And that's where, as a podcaster, you can feel kind of constrained. It's one of the many reasons why, I'm very cautious if I'm ever going to take a sponsorship in the future, because I like giving constructive feedback to a product, to a particular item, or to a particular idea. I like having that freedom to say what I need to say when it comes to giving constructive feedback. Now, if you take a sponsorship, even simple constructive feedback, that company may particularly not like what you have to say, and they'll stop that sponsorship. So with all those podcasters out there and content creators, this is a perfect case study to just, be very mindful when you are talking about the hobby, and just, be wary of what you are saying, because especially if you have a sponsor of your video, you could say that one little thing that the sponsor does not agree with, and they can simply terminate the contract. So as we saw here, that's exactly what happened. Rapido pulled out of the AML podcast, and that's that. And then we saw kind of all the second and third order effects as a result. Now, this is going to be kind of the open letter to manufacturers. To all the manufacturers out there, I'm hoping that this one event doesn't alienate them to sponsor a particular channel, to not support the YouTubers. Again, YouTubers provide a great service for manufacturers, for hobby shops. They can get the word out, and more than likely, it's going to be not necessarily free, but out of goodwill, we're giving you guys almost free promotion when it comes to the content. So it's such a win-win situation if manufacturers actually partner up with YouTubers, because it's cheaper than trying to buy an ad off of YouTube. It's cheaper than trying to advertise in magazines, on TV ads, and so forth. And then you get to build that potential rapport as well. So it's just one of those things that it's a win-win situation when it comes to these sponsorships. So I'm hoping that this one event doesn't alienate those manufacturers out there, because again, there is a benefit to having them. There is a benefit to having a sponsorship. And as long as both parties understand what values and morals they understand, then you know what? Go for it. That's the great thing about content creation and sponsorships. We all win. We all win when we work together when it comes to model railroading. All right, so now it's time to get into the weeds of what this whole mess kind of how it started. You guys heard the clip at the very beginning of the video. I added it because I wanted to give you guys context of exactly what was said, and you see here on the screen. So again, I want to analyze the statements. So going through, most of these statements here are actually sadly attacking the person. And so it's just like, it is what it is. How we define attack on a person is very subjective, from person to person, from religion to politics to all the above. Me personally, I don't like this at all. I don't like, again, attacking the person. You got to really, when you give constructive feedback, you got to attack the object, you got to attack the idea, you got to analyze the product. And that's usually what I do. I attack the product when it comes to, reviewing, giving constructive feedback. So there's a lot here that was just really sad that they were attacking the person themselves, which I do not like. So one thing here says, wow, social media managers, the NMRA needs a social media manager. Well, that's false because they have an excellent social media manager. Lucy Dormont has done a lot of posts on Facebook. She's done a lot of podcasts. She's trying to reach out to all the YouTubers. She's trying to bridge that connection between where the NMRA is now and kind of bringing in that internet sphere of influence to the NMRA. She's done a lot of great work. And as you can see, just looking through all of the posts on Facebook, she has been severely involved with trying to bridge that gap. Something that I've criticized the NMRA for, that they haven't been really using this great tool of the social media to really bring the NMRA to new members, to young members, to bring new ideas and be innovative. Lucy has done that. If you look at all the posts, she has been an awesome job in what the NMRA needed. So the fact that they made a statement needs a social media manager, no, they got the perfect one. Let's see here. So shouldn't be coming out of Springfield. Okay, whatever. I don't want to be too specific about it. Okay, they're desperate for a social media manager. Oh, there you are. So it's like, no, they're not. It's so desperate is so general, so like childish to really say, because Lucy is doing a great freaking job. Again, I'll add kind of some overlay here, as you can see, of all the hard work that she's been doing. So again, I'm attacking the statements here. There is no way that they have the perfect social media manager, in my opinion. And then they blame the leadership, which again, Gordy has done a lot to, again, bring the NMRA into modern times. And I've seen him do a lot more work than past presidents. So that is great. So again, I think that the statement is just incorrect. I would say correct there. Say it's the leadership's fault for hiring her. Again, that's very opinionated. I don't agree with it. Again, Lucy is doing a great job. And then, well, that's true. But I mean, she seems more focused on creating a personal brand than creating, and that's where the recording stops there. So with that, I think that's also false, because when you're a social media manager, you need to not only bring the NMRA, but you got to bring your own character out. And the fact that Lucy is so influential, she's so energetic when it comes to what she loves about this hobby and what she's bringing to the NMRA, of course, she's going to bring her personality to the NMRA. She's not creating it for herself. A lot of this time, they're actually putting a lot of their own time into this. So to say that, I think, is very disrespectful and very rude, not understanding what Lucy truly does and the amount of hours that are put into the work that she's doing. You know, coming from a perspective that, you know, what I'm doing here on my channel, I can truly understand that she's putting a lot of hard work into the NMRA, into the hobby, and she's definitely bringing a new attitude, character to the NMRA. When you think of Lucy, you think of the NMRA, and you think about the hard work that she's putting into it. So again, I think that statement is absolutely false and borderline, again, another personal attack on the person, which is not justified at all. All right, so time to look at the last angle of this, and that is from the member that actually said most of these comments. So here's the actual apology statement. So to the NMRA and to Lucy, let me begin by apologizing for the poor choice of words and opinions that aired on the Monitors Life podcast on 3rd February 2025. Many have referred to remarks as bullying tactics, which of course is unfortunate and unacceptable. I am not going to make excuses for my actions, but will take full responsibility for any harm that was done. Perhaps it was simply an act of ignorance on my part or a blatant disregard for the thoughts and feelings of others, regardless the reasons or intentions. The insensitivity of the remarks hurt others, and that's no one's fault but mine. I do believe that in today's world, no amount of words or apologies will satisfy some people, so let me say this directly to Lucy, the social media manager for the NMRA. I'm sorry if anything I've said on the podcast was harmful, perceived as bullying, as arrogant, cavalier, or just plain rude. It was just the wrong thing to do, and for that, I sincerely apologize. So, wow, there's a lot to dissect. Again, some other posts have come out since this apology came out, and the NMRA and they've officially said an announcement that they kind of accepted this apology. There's a lot to this. Again, you can be the judge if this apology was sincere and genuine. There's a lot of key words in here that has me having some red flags, like the part that I'm sorry if, again, that if is a big kind of not taking ownership for it, in my opinion. But again, you make the judge if this apology was sincere, again, based on whatever your guys' beliefs are. My biggest criticism about this is that normally when an apology letter comes out, the content in question gets removed. And unfortunately, as of this recording, that segment from that podcast on 3rd February is still up. You can still go and look at it. It hasn't been edited or deleted or taken down. Now, if an apology was truly sincere and genuine, then that recording probably should be coming down or should be edited out. Again, that's my own opinion. Others can do what they want. It's their channel. But again, is this genuine? I honestly don't think so, but it is what it is. So yeah, it's been kind of a crazy ride with this particular story that kind of dropped. It definitely affects the YouTube sphere, which is why I wanted to spend a little bit more time on this particular topic. I can't simply do a 2 to 3 minute video on this because there's a lot of angles to look at, and I had my particular opinions as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, again, I know it's kind of a lengthy one, but thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.